Hello my friends, welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, April 15th, 2025. This is Jennifer. I want to start by thanking everyone who has liked and commented on my Raggedy Rescue Good Omens process video. A little behind the scenes, I had 110 clips for that video from just me recording stuff. I didn't include everything. I squashed it down to 26 minutes, so you get the whole process for both dolls. It sounds like a lot, but when you consider that I'm completely making over 2 dolls, it's about 13 minutes a doll. Also, I included a lot of really fun footage in there, and there's a little Easter egg. If you look for it, there is a little kitty tail that swoops in and out of one scene. It's only there for a second, but let me know if you see it. Thank you for that, and if you haven't watched that video already, I hope that you do. I put a lot of work into it. It's probably my favorite long form video that I've done in a really, really long time, and obviously with super cute results. I wanted to include with that someone mentioned to me that they thought you had to pay for YouTube subscriptions, and you do not. You just hit subscribe and it just means you're following me. It's kind of like friending someone on Facebook or following someone on Instagram. You're not having to pay anything. There are some paid tiers, but I don't have that, so you don't have to worry about that. So if you hit subscribe, you're just subscribing to my videos. You're not giving me any money. That's not required. So in the last week, I have spent a lot of time working on bookcase quilt titles. I sat down and I designed all the titles for 2 of the 3 rows that I had left. And so far, you can see here, I've done about half of those. So this is my detective row. These are the London detectives. And so we have Sherlock Holmes and some book titles from Rivers of London. And then we have a Poirot block here on the end. So I got all of the titles for this done. This was about half done, and then there were a bunch of blank books that needed to be done, so I did those last week. And then I got to start on the classics row, which is going to have books by Greek authors, like ancient Greek authors, ancient Roman authors, that kind of thing. So that is this row. I have 2 blocks finished. This one is about half done, so I'll give you a little sneak peek. This has Dante's Divine Comedy and 1001 Nights, and I did this cute little lamp, which actually came from a disc of about 6 million teeny tiny just embroidery files that a friend of mine gave me that I've used them for other things. All of them are about this big, and it's nice to just have this amazing library of all of these little bitty things that I can add to all of my books. This is the Iliad Odyssey block, and I actually did redo it. I had different fabric for the books and you couldn't really see the titles, and I worked really hard on those, so I wanted you to be able to see them. I ended up drawing the text out, and then I added this, and then same thing here, same thing here. These were little fonts from a font set that I digitized and turned into embroidery files, so I'm really happy with that. Lots of people have been asking me what I use for my embroidery design, and I currently have Embrilliance Stitch Artist 1. They have a whole bunch of different levels, and it does go higher than Stitch Artist 1. That's just where I am right now. And they have, Embrilliance has this thing where you can kind of go level by level, and you can purchase what you want. And when I first got it, I got the very first level because I was just doing very rudimentary stuff, and then I wanted to start designing my own stuff, so I added Stitch Artist 1. And eventually I will probably go up to Stitch Artist 2, but right now I don't feel like I need it, so I just haven't gone up to that. I did also find a free open source machine embroidery design software. It's called Ink Stitch. It's based on Inkscape. So I will actually put a link to that in the description. A disclaimer for you guys, I haven't tried it, but since you guys are always asking me what I'm using and asking me if I know anything that's free, that I did find that it is free, and I will put a link in the description. And if you do try it, please let me know, because that way I will know if I should recommend it to people or not. Most of these patterns are on Fandom and Stitches for free. The Persian Slipper, the Deerstalker, and Poirot over here, these are all my patterns. All of the books, I forgot the pipe. The pipe is also my pattern. This block and this block have not been turned into patterns yet, but I do plan to do that and share them on Fandom and Stitches as just extra book blocks, because it's always nice to have extra book blocks. This one I showed you guys a while back. This is a combination of several designs. I'll see if I can find the video where I explain that, and I will put a link in the description. So if you're curious about that, you can have a look. I also want to mention while I'm talking about stitching on titles that I do have a tutorial on how I do that. There are many ways that you could do it, but this is just how I do it. And I'm hoping that my shortcuts might help someone else just make this a little bit easier, a little bit faster. I do have the rest of the classics row designed, so I'm hoping to get that stitched out this week. And then the last row is the row that we've dubbed the adventure row. It has the Indiana Jones blocks in it, and the lantern is in it, and that row is going to be all books. It's going to be some books that are canon to Indiana Jones and books that my husband feels like Indiana Jones would have read as a child. And the rest are all going to be adventure, sci-fi, fantasy books that my husband read when he was a kid. So I'm really excited about that. I think that's going to be a really fun row to finish up. So maybe, fingers crossed, next week, all of my rows will be back on the wall, and then it'll be quilt top time for this quilt that I've been working on since 2021. I do want to throw out a little idea that I've had that I want some feedback on before I decide to do this. Next year is the 15th anniversary of the original Project of Doom. So the original Project of Doom was a Harry Potter bookcase quilt along that I ran. I designed from scratch based on a mural that I painted in 2021. In 2011. In 2011, I designed this quilt based on a mural that I had painted for one of my kids, and that is the original Project of Doom. And next year is the 15th anniversary again. And so I was thinking of maybe running a 15th anniversary Project of Doom. You guys let me know what you think. It's a possibility. It has definitely been the quilt along that has never ended. So there are always people working on this quilt. You can find us on Facebook. There's a Project of Doom group, and there are always people working on the quilt. But I know some people like more of a quilt along environment. So if that's a thing you might like to do, let me know, and I will think about it. I will think about adding that to my calendar for 2026. So that is going to be it for me, you guys. You have a wonderful week. Have a crafty week. And if you haven't already, go by bookcase and see what's going on in my backyard. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.